can I ask that the live stream is started and verbal confirmation?
I can confirm, Chair, that the live stream has been started.
Thank you, and welcome to the meeting of the Planning and Regulatory Committee. The agenda papers and other relevant information for this meeting are available for the public viewing on the Herefordshire Council website. Please remember your words and actions should be chosen carefully, and members are reminded that speeches are limited to 3 minutes. The Council is streaming the live meeting on the Herefordshire YouTube channel and also making a recording. The recording will be available via the Council's website shortly after the Council meeting has concluded. Other attendees are permitted to film, photograph and record the meeting provided that it does not disrupt the business of the meeting. If you do not wish to be filmed or photographed, please identify yourself so that anyone who intends to record the meeting can be made aware. To ensure that the quality is maintained, should members speak clearly as possible and keep background noise to a minute to ensure that mobile phones and other devices are turned to silent. Welcome to the meeting and all those in attendance. I now ask Ms. Gibbons to introduce all the officers.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. My name is Kelly Gibbons. I'm the Development Management Service Manager. To my right, I have Heather Carlisle, who will be presenting item 6 on the agenda, and Dave Thomas, who's representing the Local Highway Authority. Online today, we have Mark Sorrentino as the Council's legal advisor. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'll move on to item 1 on the agenda, apologies for absence. We have received apologies from Councillor Hamblin and Davis, and we're delighted to see Councillor Stone has returned to our fold. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I'm sorry I'm late, but there have been roadworks all the way from outside Plebs.
Yes. Excuses, excuses. We don't have anyone acting as a substitute. Can we now move on to declarations of interest? Does anyone wish to declare an interest? No, there are no declarations of interest. We now move on to the minutes of the meeting held on the 9th of April 2025. Are the minutes of the meeting approved? Please indicate by raising your hands. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's a typo, page 21 of the pack, which is item 62 of the minutes. There's a typo on the first paragraph. It says, there will be a submission of updated drawing of the proposed elevations of the prod.
Pod, you should say.
Pod.
Yes. Pod. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you. If that could be altered. Thank you.
Right. Subject to that amendment, can I ask that those in favour, please, of the minutes, please raise their hands. No one against? Any abstentions? One as not present at that particular meeting. Right. Now I'll move on. There are no chairman's announcement. We'll move on to the first application, item 5, land at Helens Wood Farm, Kingsthorne, Herefordshire.
No, that was last time.
Last time. Oh, I got the. Sorry.
Item
Sorry.
6, there we go.
Yeah, land at Ashley Farm, Grafton, Court Close, Grafton, Herefordshire. I should have spotted that. Right, and Heather will make a presentation.
Good morning and thank you, Chair. The proposal in front of you this morning relates to a full planning application for Belmont Wanderers Football Club on a site south of Vernon Williams Close, which is located to the south side of Hereford. The proposal is for the erection of 6 floodlights to light an approved 3G football pitch and the refurbishment and relocation of an existing cabin to provide sports changing facilities, storage, showers and toilets. This application has been redirected to Planning Committee as it's located on council-owned land and as detailed within the committee report due to the fact that your officers were in receipt of 1 objection from a local resident. The application in front of members this morning is recommended for approval with suitably worded conditions as detailed at the end of the committee report. Although not a planning consideration, the proposal is supported through the Government Stronger Towns Fund. This slide helps with context, and as shown on the aerial photo plan, the site is currently part of an area of open space and has areas of established green infrastructure. The slide also helps to locate nearby local properties, predominantly to the north, and the railway line to the east. Some members of this committee would have been present at the Planning Committee decision to grant planning permission in August 2023 for a community hub, recreation facilities including a 3G pitch, car parking, access road, allotments and polytunnels, as detailed within the text box on this slide. The illustrative site plan on this slide was submitted as part of that application, which again helps understand the wider site. Can I also draw your attention to the planning history section of the committee report, section 3.5, which illustrates that several subsequent planning applications linking to the outright consent have also been granted. Work on the wider site has begun, however the 3G football pitch has not yet been installed. This original outline application and subsequent reserved matters applications did not formally include floodlighting. However, they made it clear that floodlights would be required and that an application would be forthcoming. So as a reminder, this application is for the erection of 6 floodlights to light the already approved football pitch. The proposed floodlighting has been designed with neighbouring residents in mind, and this has been covered within paragraph 6.25 to 6.30 of the committee report. The planning application has been supported by a lighting statement. This advised that the spill light is well contained around the perimeter of the pitch and that the spill light towards neighbouring houses has been kept as low as possible. As detailed in the committee report, on this basis, your officers consider that the spill would not measurably affect the amenity of residents in the area. And I also draw your attention that Sport England nor Network Rail have objected. Regarding the floodlights, a local resident has raised concern about the potential impact on local wildlife, specifically referencing bats and owls that are present in the locality. To reassure members, as per the committee report, paragraph 6.31 to 6.37, the application has been reviewed by the Council's professional ecologist and they have not raised any objection to the proposed directional lighting and luminaires as currently proposed following a review of the detailed lighting and illumination plans. This included detailed modelling of the illumination levels and specifications to demonstrate directional downlighting luminaires. Also, I draw members' attention to the fact that modern floodlighting are highly directional and designed to be efficient as possible, as maximising required surface illumination while minimising any upward illumination. These modern schemes will be far less intrusive to the wider area than, say, the far older and inefficient systems still being used. Also, to clarify, the lighting of the pitches and facilities will cease at 10 p.m. and this has been secured by conditioned. As can be seen on the pitch layout, the flood lighting is located around the pitch at 6 locations and to be 14 metres high. The colour of the columns has been conditioned. Your officers are satisfied that the proposal will not have any impact upon protected species nor will lead to any adverse amenity concerns to residents or the local railway network. As well as the floodlights, this application seeks the refurbishment and relocation of an existing cabin to provide changing and storage facilities for Belmont Wanderers Football Club. The proposed cabin is a refurbishment cabin which is already on the site on the north side of the field. This refurbished cabin will be relocated to a position on the south boundary of the field, circa 80 metres to the southwest of the football pitch. The cabin is of modest scale with a dual pitch roof. It will accommodate 2 changing rooms, each with their own showers, lobby and toilet. There are also 2 external toilets and a flexible ancillary sports space. The cabin incorporates 2 storage containers as well. This slide shows the proposed floor plan, location and the design of the cabin. The changing room provision is to the standards set out by Sport England and the Football Foundation and are an important element to the usability of the sport pitches too. They provide for segregated changing and toilet areas, as well as lockable storage. The Football Foundation have reviewed the proposed plans and supports the making of this application. As per the committee report, details of the materials and colour have been conditioned. The next couple of slides shows photographs of the site and wider site area. The slide shows the access to the site from Vernon Williams Close, and the bottom two photographs are the area where the 3G pitch is proposed and subsequent lighting is proposed. Please be advised these photographs were taken before recent work has started on site. This slide assists with the site context and primarily illustrates the area where the proposed changing room is to be situated. And finally, this slide shows how part of the site is currently looking as work has started on the access track into the site, and the bottom photographs show one of the storage containers which is to be refurbished. To sum up, notwithstanding the concern raised by the local objector and as detailed in the committee report, there is no objection to the proposal from consultees, and this includes statutory consultees in the form of Sports England, Network Rail, nor Welsh Water, and your council's own professional ecologist. The changing rooms are to a standard set out by Sport England and the Football Foundation, and are considered essential to the usability of the sports pitches, as are the provision of the floodlighting to the use of the football pitch. Other planning matters have been covered in detail within the report. As such, the recommendation is for approval, subject to the appropriate conditions detailed within the committee report. Thank you, Chair, and members of this committee. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. And now there are no public speakers for this particular room, but we have three local members, and I don't know which order. Councillor Thomas, and I'll go on to then. Councillor Carradine first. Sorry.
Thank you, Chair. Jackie Carwadine, Newton Farm Ward. I fully approve of this application. I know Chrissy Tippin, the guy that runs Belmont Wanderers. He's a really, really good bloke, and he's got over 600 kids on his books up at the Wanderers, which I think is phenomenal. He runs male teams, female teams, and they start from little dots up to teenagers. I honestly believe that if this wasn't on my patch, I would have a lot more antisocial behaviour than what I'm dealing with at the moment. So I fully 100%, well, 200% approve this application. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Councillor Thomas.
Mr. Chairman, I similarly approve this. When I became councillor just 2 years ago now, the first email I got was from the applicant, Miss Fontaine. Can I come and meet them? Following week, and so I had a grand tour of everything. The market garden is actually the bit in my ward, but I totally agree with my neighbour. This is absolutely a wonderful idea. It's land which is at the moment a bit of a park, so this won't really affect anything at all. So I fully approve of this application.
Finally, we have a statement from Councillor Dan Powell.
Good morning. I apologise for not being able to attend today, but I felt compelled to write in support of this application, as I strongly believe in the value this project will bring to not just South Wye, but to our city as a whole. This project represents a meaningful step forward for community sport and inclusion south of the river. Belmont Wanderers FC and the growing local already play a vital role in our city, providing opportunities for young people and families to come together, stay active and build lasting relationships, all while giving back to their community. It is clear from the report that the addition of floodlights will ensure the pitch and facilities can be used safely and effectively all year round, increasing accessibility and therefore making the most of this amenity. In my view, this application is exactly the kind of low-impact, high-value development that this council should embrace. Throughout the application, it is clear that the applicant has prioritised biodiversity and by extension climate considerations. With plans for additional planting and habitat creation, this proposal clearly aligns with the Council's broader environmental goals. Supporting this application clearly demonstrates that the Council values development that is both community-centred and climate-conscious. To summarise, this is a practical, well-considered and balanced proposal that benefits not only the South Wye community, but the city as a whole. I urge all members to support it. Thank you. Councillor Dan Powell.
Thank you. And now, can I invite debate? Councillor Simons, Councillor Andrews.
Thank you very much, Chair. Just echoing the comments, really. I've had a look through the officer's report. It was really good to attend the site previously on the previous application where we looked at the outline consent. I've had a look through the lighting statement and the BNG report. It's clear that the concerns that were raised with regard to bats and wildlife, whilst welcome, have been addressed in terms of the landscaping plan creating additional habitat and the light spill limited as per the Institute of Lighting Professionals note. So I have no grounds to have concerns about this. I can see that conditions have been put in place where there have been any concerns about from the landscape officer with regard to colouring of the lighting columns. So I think this is an excellent project and we should support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. On a practical note, I have the Herefordshire Football Association full-size pitch in my ward. For those of you who don't know where it is, it's actually behind the Lads Club. It's quite well hidden. But the lighting there is the same sort of lighting that will be installed at this club, the Belmont Wanderers. And I could assure you, although there are houses nearby, it's directional down at on the pitch, and I have never had a single complaint from any of the nearby residents that it causes them any difficulties whatsoever.
Councillor Woodall.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Heather. I just wanted to get some clarification on the relocation of the changing facilities, because that's part of this. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I couldn't quite make out on access and vehicle access how people are going to get from the car parks which are in the northern side to the new changing rooms which are in the southern side, especially when there's going to be a lot of potentially, if you say there's a lot of children involved going to be users of this, there could be a lot of parents, a lot of traffic coming down through the site to the southern area in order to get to those changing rooms. Is there some clarification on that sort of access, because I can't find it in here?
In returns to the access solely for this proposal is going to be coming from Vernon Williams Close. There's going to be no public access from the what I would call the Grafton side of the site, and I think also is to be aware of in regards to the subsequent applications that have been submitted as part of the outline for what we call the reserve matters, which is in regards to car parking, in terms of car parking and in terms of community buildings. That's all already been approved through a subsequent application. So in regards to in terms of the transport movements and cars, they are going to be relying on the car parking was put forward as part of the it was illustrated in the outline and then has come through in a subsequent reserve matters that has been approved. So it's is not as part of this. It hasn't been detailed on this part of this application in terms of car parking because it's been addressed as part of another application.
Okay, but the relocation of the changing rooms, doesn't that imply a change to the access requirements? And that I'm not sure if you could bring back the site plan. Does that, maybe you could point out that the car parks, maybe they are within, a couple of hundred yards, walking distance, I'm not quite clear. Okay, yes, so could you indicate where the car parks are in relation to the new location of the changing rooms?
Possibly the best way is to go to the illustrative master plan.
Let me drive. see this mouse on here. Yeah, yes, there's one car. North there. The car park there. Yeah. Put your camera, put your mic on.
Yes. So there's an existing car park where the container is going to be relocated from.
Could you indicate that for me?
Grab my mouse.
Wait, no. No, it isn't. You go northwest. Northwest. So there's an existing car park there.
Yep.
Then you're going to cross further down, and then there's, I think, there was 46 car parking spaces. No, not there. Further up, Kelly, by the there. So
Yep.
I think it's 40 parking spaces there, and then the community hub. That's where you've got disabled parking, EV chargers, outside of the actual building. So all of the access at that point would be parking there and walking within the site to access a changing.
So they'll be walking on foot to the changing areas in the south of the site.
Yes.
No vehicles permitted.
No vehicle access to that site, no.
Thank you very much.
Right. Now I'll move on to Councillor Stone.
Thank you very much, Chairman. This is very good news for the, not just for the city, but for the whole county, Mr. Chairman. Grassroots football does need our support. Many clubs around the county have closed in recent years because just small handfuls of people have been running them and they haven't had the modern facilities we've been talking about this morning. So this is very positive indeed. It'll be very good to have so many children involved, as Councillor Carwadine has just said, 600 children involved. Think of the benefits for health and well-being. And all the modern facilities will be very much appreciated by all those playing football. So many of our teams now in the Herefordshire League are now from Gloucestershire and Worcestershire, which just shows how important it is to support our county teams. So all best wishes for Belmont Wanderers FC and for the success of this great scheme. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Councillor Baker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can I first of all commend Miss Carlyle on her very comprehensive report? Thank you. Floodlights are always a emotive subject, especially if they're going to be sited around or close to a residential area. I have previous experience of a similar application in my previous authority, where we had an all-weather hockey pitch, and the application came in for floodlights, and this was a very expensive area of Ruislip in Middlesex, and there was all sorts of threats, and it was really quite emotive, and I was the ward member, and so I got the bulk of the complaints. But anyway, it was approved by the committee quite rightly, and once these lights were installed, there was never another complaint. I think modern floodlighting now is all directed downwards. There's very little light spill, and everyone was really quite happy. And so with that in mind, I fully support this recommendation for approval.
Right. Is that a proposal? Right. Are there any other speakers? I saw all hands went up, and I think I. Right. Then we'll go now. Any officers? None. Then we'll go back now to the local members. Does anyone wish to say anything further to end the debate? Councillor Carwadine.
I just want to thank members very much for all your support today. This is very close to my heart because it's in my, not just because it's in my area. It's a dear friend of mine's son that's running this, and to see those kids on a Saturday and Sunday, they walk up past my house all excited with their football boots on. They're all off to football, men and women, girls and boys. It's fantastic. So I just want to thank you all very much for your support today.
Councillor Thomas.
I reiterate the same. It is just a marvellous thing. As Councillor Stone has pointed out, we don't support our grassroots footballers as anything like we should do. And this is a marvellous opportunity, so I fully support it and hope everybody else will.
Thank you. And now we'll move to the vote. We have a proposal, as outlined in the agenda, which has been proposed and seconded. Can I ask for those in favour, please indicate. That is unanimous. Can I now thank you all for our attendance, which is probably a record of this committee, if not very close to it anyway. Can I now ask that we go offline? Thank you.